John, thank you so much for talking to us. Can you tell us a little bit about the motivation behind Nedbank sponsoring the 9th World Congress on Conservation Agriculture?
Thank you. I think it's just a wonderful opportunity because when we first heard about it, Chris Burgess approached us and he said, John, I think this is going to align with you guys, so won't you give it some thought? And when we started to look into the program, and Chris mentioned previous sort of conferences and what they were about, the quality of speakers that they got to speak at those events and so on, we felt that from a Nedbank point of view, that this was something that we wanted to be part of. And I think the reason for that is that Nedbank is a purpose-driven organization, and what actually underpins our purpose is the SDGs. So Sustainable Development Goals is what really underpins Nedbank. And so if you think about it, the alignment with sustainability and what this particular conference stands for, there is good alignment between the two. I think the other part of it is that this is not new for us. So sustainability has, from an agricultural point of view, we've been driving this for quite some years. And one of our early partners, we have brought more partners to the table, is WWF-SA. So WWF-SA has been a long-standing partner of Nedbank, but in the last 10 years or so, we've had an agricultural partnership as well. So I think much of the content and much of the debate, discussions that are going to take place aligns with what we've been driving and talking about from an awareness point of view. And, the likes of WWF have been central to that. So we do feel there's a really good fit, and I guess that's the reason that we want to participate and we want to be part of it.
So looking from a conservation agricultural point of view, how does farmers' conservation agriculture practice align with Nedbank's values?
Gerrit, it's really important because what we feel at Nedbank is that sustainability is important. So I've made that quite clear. Okay, but what we wanted to do is take it a step further. I think we all know that farmers are both contributors to climate change, but they're also recipients of climate change. So, they're on both sort of ends of the scale. And to be honest, we need to do it on both ends of the scale. So, from a Nedbank point of view, we want to drive the awareness around climate change, climate risk, and what that means to our farming clients, and also what it means to Nedbank, because I think you would appreciate in terms of how we report up, and we've just released our latest set of sort of integrated reporting, which talks to not only financial statements, but it talks to climate, it talks to society report, and so on. And therefore, there's a responsibility from a Nedbank point of view to really let the market know in terms of the investors that look to Nedbank, is what is the climate risk that sits in our business. At the same time, dealing with our farmers and helping them equip to build climate resilience is really important. So while we feel that we need to address climate change, and that's part of it, the other part of it is how do we assist our farmers in dealing with the impact. And there comes a lot of responsibility, but also opportunity. So apart from the sort of educational part of it and getting in partners like WWF to share their wealth of knowledge, we feel that building climate resilience with our farming clients is critical. We want to have a farming book and an agricultural book at large. It includes the secondary sector as well, primary and secondary, that is financially sustainable into the future. And therefore that means building climate resilience, and the opportunity for Nedbank is to then look at funding and how do we support our clients, whether they're funding solar energy, water efficiency, soil improvement, etc., etc. So yeah, that is quite a mouthful, but I guess that's really why we're doing what we're doing from a sustainability point of view.
Now, coming back to the World Conference, When we look at the themes, how do they align with Nedbank's existing projects?
Well, we have had quite a few projects over time, and I'm just going to talk to a few which might just give you a feel of the type of work that we're doing in this space. I've mentioned WWF SA quite a few times, and so I won't dwell on that too much. But you know, even in their space, the engagement with the agricultural sector is just amazing. I think in the early days, their involvement was possibly misunderstood, but the importance of keeping our farmers on the land and the farmers being custodians of the land is vital, and that's where the WWF plays a role. So the partnership with them, and we've seen a lot of work in the Western Cape around either water course areas, you know, so our water-rich areas where we get most of our water is a major focus for WWF and the country. You know, being a water-scarce country, our water courses are critical. A lot of work in that regard. There's been a lot of work done in wine as well. So the conservation champions that the wine sector is known for, and in terms of exports, that is something that they proudly kind of display, you know, in terms of being a conservation champion. A lot of work there. But more recently, we've done work in sugar, we've done work in dairy, we've done work in maize and cropping as well. And one example in the dairy sector, well, there's two actually, but the one is we co-funded with WWF SA some research around trace and save. So trace and save do a lot of great work around sustainability, the measurement of it, and what is the link between conservation agriculture and sustainability and financial sustainability. So trying to build that link and